loves, welcome to my channel. This Mama Loves Disney. Okay, so you guys, this is one special project share. Okay, so I was asked to be a guest designer for the Halloween Memorydex series created and hosted by Happy Mail Queen Armin and Paper Sweets Sophia. Hi, ladies! And so this week is week 6, and the challenge is so near to my heart. This specific challenge is Disney villains, you guys. Oh my God, I was so excited. Thank you so very much, ladies, for asking me to be part of this. I'm so excited. And next week, I just want to give you a brief update of what next week will be. Next week will be week 7, and the challenge is called Chunky Monkey, which is multi-layered Memorydex card. And the more layers, the better, you guys. So I'll put all this information down in the description box below. I'll definitely link Armin and Sophia's channels. You guys, they have been making some amazing Memorydex cards. You guys just have to, if you guys don't know how to make Memorydex cards or need some ideas, they are making the cutest Memorydex cards. So this is all Halloween themed. And this, like I said, this week is week 6, and it is Disney villains. And so what I wanted to do really fast and quickly is I just wanted to show you first a couple of things that I used to make some of the Memorydexes that I worked on. I did make 4. I ended up using this Movers and Shapers Timmy Holtz Graveyard Tombstone. And then I used some of this Sparkling Company, which is just like wood grain paper. I did use that. I don't have all the different like papers that I use, but I just brought a couple things just to show you what I did use. Some of the dies that I ended up using, I did use this cobweb from this Memorydex. And then I used this particular Memorydex right here because it reminded me of the bubbles that come off the, that come off the top of the cauldron. I did use this candy apple die right here, which is, I guess, yeah, a candy apple. And then this is a little kissing booth. I don't have all the little pieces on here, but I did use this one piece right here, so I thought I would share that. And then I also used this shell. Yeah, I used it as a shaker, so I have this. And then I have a couple pieces that just say all kinds of little odds and, little things on them. Like this one says trick or treat yourself. So I just have a couple of those little pieces that I ended up putting on here. I did end up using some of these dice that are from Hobby Lobby. Of course, you guys know me. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm going to use glow-in-the-dark Nouveau drops, so I did use those. I used some of this acrylic paint, which is like let's see, what is this color called? Oh, sour apple. So I used this. I used a couple of different glitters and stickles. I did use one of these little rosettes that I had made. It's a little multi-rosette. I did use a little bit of this ribbon that has cobwebs. I used some of these little chunky, well, it's not really chunky, but they're a little bit of a bigger sea bead, I guess you would call them. I did use some of my little poison apple clay pieces. And I hadn't shared these yet, but I did pick up some of these little apple buttons that were from Hobby Lobby. And then I also ordered from Etsy some of these candy apples, not caramel, I'm sorry, these candy apples. Okay, so those are a couple of the items that I did use for this project. Give me one moment to clear these out and I will show you what I came up with. I actually have a couple more that I was working on, but I just kind of lost time to be able to, finish them. So this is the first one. It is Ursula, and I did use the shell, and I also used some tulle, and this specific tool that I did use has some little tiny dots on here that glow in the dark. I thought it was going to show up more, but it didn't. And so I went ahead and made it a shaker. And I was thinking about putting a sentiment right here, but I decided against it just so that you can see all the little shaker bits that are inside there. I ended up using some of those larger beads right here, the little purple purple beads, to make it look like her tentacles. And then I ended up using just some little confetti table scatters. They're called both. And then I went ahead and put some little gemmies on there. I just put different color Halloween gemmies. This right here was a bat that I had cut out from just some extra pieces of paper plates that I had in my stash. And then, I had some tulle that I had picked up at Dollar Tree. I actually picked up some last year, but I needed some more this year. So I had cut out some cobwebs. So I used one of the cobwebs right here on the top. This is an image that I had in my stash that came with a collection of Disney villain pictures. So I just made another copy of it. And then I ended up using some Nuvo drops for the eyes here. And then I used some Nuvo drops for her hair. And so that, and then right here is that Memorydex cobweb. So that is the first one. And I just thought it would be perfect to put my little Jim Shore Disney villain castle here. So I'm just going to stack them right here so you can see them, or I'll put them right here. Okay, so that's the first one. The second one, I ended up making the Evil Queen. She's got her little cauldron right here where she's mixing up her poison. And then I ended up getting the apples and I painted them with that paint that I showed you, that sour apple paint. And then I went over twice with the green glow-in-the-dark Nuvo drops on there. I added some eyeballs, some little cobwebs that are just little clay pieces, and then some spiders and some just little blings here just to make it look like, something that she, some of her mixture. As I said, around the edges of this one particular Memorydex, it just reminded me of the bubbles that come out of the cauldron. So I went around the edges with my stickles. I added some different little glittered pieces. I did add glitter. I added some eyeballs. I also added some, some little glow-in-the-dark little dots here and there, and just, added some, and I added some little bling to her crown. And so that is the second one. Then I did this one right here where the old hag right here, she's selling candied apples, poison candied apples. So here are the little buttons, and I went ahead and did the same effect that I had mentioned. I painted those first, and then I went over them with a glow-in-the-dark oh my gosh, tonic, oh my god, I can't think of what they're called. I used the tonic things. Here, let me see. These little things right here, the glow-in-the-dark drops. I'm sorry, forgive me. I couldn't think of drops. And then these are a couple stickers that were in my stash. I believe this was a Michael stickers. I think like 2 years ago they had these particular stickers. And then this is the little candied apple die cut that I shared with you, and then inside there has the little clay pieces. Those are the poison appled clay pieces. Here's the bow that I mentioned that I put on here, and then I used a little bit more of that tulle right here to as a banner. And then this is just an image that I ended, oh, this image too as well. These are just images that I found online, and I just went ahead and fussy cut them. And then the background, there's a couple, it was kind of like, it started out as a shaker, but when I put the back on, it just made it a little bit too tight, so it's more like wallpaper back there. So it's it has some of the poison apples back there. And then I just have a little poison apple sign right here that I went ahead and inked. And then this little guy right here, they're like flat buttons. They're in the button area where I bought them, but they don't have an actual button on them, but they're just kind of like a little flat plastic piece. So I went ahead and also added some of the glow-in-the-dark drops to that as well. And so, and then this is the wood grain that you see that I had mentioned too. And so this is the old hag with the poison apples. And then this is Oogie Boogie. For those of you who are not familiar, he is from Nightmare Before Christmas. And the little sidekicks down here are Lock, Shock, and Barrel. And I went ahead and put the glow-in-the-dark dots on them. I had just found some images, which I believe I brought the paper over here. I had printed out some images, and then I went ahead and just fussy cut them. So they are down here. And then Oogie Boogie was just a picture that I found also as well. I went ahead and added him onto some thicker cardstock. And I also went around the edges and made him glow in the dark. The dice that I talked to you about, I put the 2 dice there, and I made it look like snake eyes for the one. This was a button. This is 0. And he, I went ahead and clipped off the back. Now this one right here is, this one I made out of foam. There was a foam that I ended up picking up at not AliExpress. I got it from Daiso. And so this was the graveyard tombstone. And then I also had some paper that had Jack Skellington, so I lined it with paper from Jack Skellington. And then I got a roulette wheel, and I went ahead and made a copy of the roulette wheel and fussy cut that. And then I have this little eyeball that's in here, like the eyeball would go around and, you know, land land on the roulette wheel. So so that's how that turned out. And I try to make it look like there's like little wormies coming out of him and a spider coming out of him, because he's actually made of bugs. So yeah. And on the back, I just did it like this, so that I put another image of Jack Skellington in the back, and I figured you could just write whatever you want on here. And then I went ahead and used a brad so that it could turn like this. So yeah, so those are my projects, you guys. Oh my God, thank you again so very much, Armin and Sophia. I was so thrilled that you guys asked me to be part of this. And I had so much fun creating these. And I'm not done yet. I just want to show you guys, you know me, I'm going to show you a totally night effect, because that's the way I roll. So let me try to set this up here. See if I could do this so that you guys can see it. Sorry, I guess I should have planned a little bit better. So sorry. Okay. So, okay. Give me 1 second, you guys. Okay, so get ready. Lights out. 1, 2, 3. Ooh! Okay, you guys, so that's what you get right there. So those are my Memorydex cards. Thank you again, ladies. And like I said before, The description will be down below. I will link their videos so that you can go and definitely check out their channels. And they are absolutely wonderful, wonderful crafters. You guys, oh my gosh, I love them. So definitely go check them out. I know that you'll probably come and see mine after you see theirs, but that's okay. But I wanted to say thank you again, you guys, for supporting me. And I want to say you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you guys all on the next video. Bye, guys.